Welcome to today's explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this because what if I told you that building serious wealth and a really reliable side income is actually deeply tied to sleep science? Sounds a bit crazy, right? But today we're going to completely flip the script on exactly how you view your productivity and your financial success. So think about this for a second. Why do some people achieve more in 2 hours than others do in an entire week? If you're sitting there right now just completely exhausted, trying to figure out how to squeeze even a drop more out of your day, listen to me. You aren't broken, you aren't unmotivated, and you certainly aren't lazy. You're literally just fighting your own biology. We constantly beat ourselves up for not doing enough, but the problem is absolutely not a lack of effort. The real culprit here, it's that whole hustle culture myth. I mean, we've all seen the advice, right? Grind harder, sleep less, force yourself up at 4 a.m. for some freezing ice bath. But honestly, that constant treadmill is just a massive biological trap. It's actively pushing us toward burnout, not a financial breakthrough. We don't need more hustle. What we really need is a biological reset. Think about the traditional time for money trap. It relies completely on sheer willpower, which, as we all know, inevitably leads to a drained battery and constant burnout. But on the flip side of that, we have biological alignment. The thing is, people with incredibly high financial IQs, they don't just try to work longer hours. No way. They treat their mental energy like a finite, incredibly valuable resource. And that brings us to a really fascinating concept, your brain's wealth cycles. Look, you do not need to torture yourself out of bed before dawn to be successful. You really don't. You just need to understand the specific, totally natural biological waves your brain already operates in. These waves are actually called ultradian rhythms. They are literally sleep science cycles that just keep happening while you're wide awake. It's wild. Your brain is physiologically hardwired to maintain absolute peak focus for about 90 minutes. And then, it absolutely requires a reset. High-earning individuals actually leverage this. They purposely tackle their most difficult, high-earning tasks right inside these specific windows, making sure they produce incredibly high-quality work before their mental energy naturally takes a dip. So, the crucial point here is that magic number, 90. 90 minutes is your ultimate biological limit for deep, profitable work. If you try to push past that without taking a break to reset, you aren't actually being productive. Honestly, you're just draining your battery and producing much, much lower quality output. Now, knowing about this 90-minute limit means that everything in your day basically comes down to protecting your cognitive bandwidth. How you spend the very first hour of your day, that dramatically dictates your financial output for the entire rest of the week. If you waste that first crucial brainwave, you've essentially thrown away your absolute most profitable biological window. Think about it. When we wake up and immediately dive into social media noise and morning emails, we instantly drain that mental battery. Compare that to practicing digital minimalism in the morning. This isn't just some trendy productivity hack. Keeping things quiet actually preserves serotonin in your brain. You are physically hoarding the chemical power that's totally necessary to solve complex financial problems and build quiet, underlying systems that generate real income. To actually achieve that, though, we need to talk about overcoming cognitive rigidity. This is a really subtle, almost invisible psychological barrier in our own minds that stops us from working smarter. And it's something we all have to actively unlearn if we want to escape the trap. You know the saying, we've all been conditioned with this idea that, well, real work must take 8 hours a day. It's classic black and white thinking. And it completely blocks us from the realization that a single, intensely focused 90-minute block is infinitely more profitable than a highly distracted, completely exhausted 9 to 5. So, breaking free from this requires a true mental evolution. It starts with questioning your very first instincts. You have to engage what psychologists call System 2 thinking. That's the conscious, slow, deliberate thought process you need to override the fast, impulsive urge to just grab your phone or stay busy with low-value chores. By forcing that transition, you end up focusing your energy strictly on high-value assets. And this brings us to a highly actionable solution known as the morning wealth reset. This is where we tie all the psychology and biology together into a real daily practice. It's all about consciously aligning your internal biological clock directly with your long-term financial goals. This reset is actually incredibly simple. Step 1, it starts with getting morning sunlight exposure, which physically resets your brain for focus. Next, you deliberately engage that System 2 reflection to override those morning impulses to mindlessly scroll. And only then do you execute your 90-minute deep work block. This brilliantly illustrates how creating a predictable environment makes your nervous system feel completely safe. And when you feel safe, you are equipped to take the calculated risks necessary to build real income. Which leads directly to the ultimate emotional and psychological payoff of this entire biological approach, achieving survival independence. Now, this goes way beyond just making an extra buck on the side. This is about fundamentally changing how you experience your daily life and how you manage stress. See, when you structure your time in these dedicated 90-minute bursts, you develop incredibly high emotional regulation. Because you're treating your focus as a protected asset, you prevent the hidden mental stress of a never-ending to-do list. It eliminates market stress and anxiety, and importantly, it helps you avoid making expensive, impulsive financial decisions. You naturally develop a deep craving for long-term stability rather than those quick, cheap fixes. Ultimately, the massive shift is this. You are learning to use your brain as a tool for wealth, rather than a target for noise. By understanding your brain's natural cycles, you're creating the exact survival independence your nervous system has been desperately craving. You're finally taking control back from a very, very noisy world. So, I'll leave you with this final, provocative question. Are you ready to stop fighting your biology and start understanding the psychology most people completely ignore? If you are ready to permanently change your approach to building your side income and actually master your own cognitive bandwidth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got so much more to explore together to help you align your mind and your money. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.